Good evening, welcome back to 1010, your top 10 news in 10 minutes. I'm Katie Jen, anchoring and training, and I'll be filling in for Andy while he's off doing internships abroad. So let's jump into the top 10 news of this week. If any of you are caught up with the news on Sandra Bland, you would know that just a few days ago, a jail video was released to settle some rumors and myths that have been floating around the internet for quite some time. The story starts like this. Miss Bland was pulled over on July 10th for a minor violation of traffic and was arrested for resisting authorities and allegedly assaulting a police officer, which resulted in Bland being incarcerated in Wally County Jail in Texas. Not 3 days after her arrest, Sandra Bland was found deceased in her jail cell. Although authorities claimed that Miss Bland had hung herself with a garbage bag found in her cell, the public refused to believe that and protested it was a murder. For days to follow, all over the social media globe, rumors and myths flew around saying that the correctional officers were saying it was a suicide to cover up their misdoings. And after a week of living in the dark, the authorities in Wally County Jail, Texas, has released a video of Ms. Bland's jailing. Go and watch the video for yourselves and decide was it a suicide or was it another unlawful act from the police. Now onto world news. A factory in the northern outskirts of China has been raided and shut down by the Chinese government. This factory had been producing thousands of iPhones since January by husband and wife. Their operation reportedly involved hundreds of workers repackaging secondhand smartphones and selling them as new or refurbished iPhones, and ended up producing a grossing amount of $19 million. That was until the U.S. authorities were notified this factory had been shipping out all the way to the States and had even set up fake Apple stores to sell their illegal products. Immediately, the government officials shut down the whole place. Back in Santa Cruz, California, a 15-year-old boy has been arrested for killing 8-year-old Madison Middleton. Madison's body was found in the boy's apartment recycle bin. Reportedly, the boy, Adrian Jerry Gonzalez, had invited Madison to his apartment, which is where authorities believe he killed her. The police chief said that because they lived in the same complex, they knew each other, and it must have been easy for the boy to lure Madison inside. Adrian will be charged as an adult for kidnapping, murder, and possibly sexual assault. Adrian is now facing life in prison if he is in fact convicted. For this week's tech news, attention Android users, Android phones can be hacked by merely a text message. The problem originates from the way Android phones analyze incoming text messages. Even before you open a message, the phone automatically processes incoming media files, including pictures, audio, or video. That means a malware-laden file can start infecting the phone as soon as it's received. Now, to you iPhone users, this may sound familiar because of the recent iPhone text hack, but all that did was freeze an iPhone and force it to restart. This Android flaw is worse because the hacker could gain complete control of the phone, wiping the device, accessing apps, or secretly turning on the camera. Usually the problem is fixed within 90 days, but apparently it's easier said than done because it has been over 109 days. Officials say that they're doing everything in their power to fix this issue. Meanwhile, in Jupiter, Florida, the National Coast Guard reminds a family that a person can survive 4 or 5 days in the ocean. This gives hope to a family of 2 teen boys who left Jupiter, Florida in a 19-foot single-engine center console vessel. Later that day, when one of the boys' grandmas didn't hear from them, she reported them missing, and time was running out for these boys, but their families are adamant about the fact that they were taught the power of Mother Nature and how to handle the conditions at sea. The Coast Guard is doing everything to find these boys before time runs out and is even offering a $100,000 reward to whoever can bring the boys home safely. Some of you might be aware of the 2012 Dark Knight shooting, which took place in Aurora, Colorado, during a midnight screening of the film The Dark Knight Rises. A gunman dressed in tactical clothing set off tear gas grenades and shot into the audience with multiple firearms, killing 12 people and injuring 70 others. The assailant, James Egan Holmes, confessed to the shooting but pleaded not guilty on grounds of insanity. On July 16th, the jury rejected his insanity plea and is now facing death penalty, and because death penalties must be unanimous, the verdict has not been made yet, but we will definitely inform you as soon as something comes up. And now there's some sad news for all you animal lovers out there. Now, a lion being shot in Zimbabwe isn't something new due to the high amount of poachers, but when a dentist from the U.S. shoots a prize lion in Zimbabwe's Hwange National Park, that's mean to flip tables over. The man suspect of the death of Cecile, the beloved lion, is Walter James Palmer. Palmer had visited Zimbabwe for a little vacation and for some hunting sport. He said that when he shot the lion, he trusted the experts on the trip and believed it was legal. Palmer, who was completely unaware, is now being charged with poaching, and the 2 men Palmer believed were experts actually had no license to hunt, to making the kill illegal. Poor Cecile didn't even see it coming, and now her cubs will most likely be killed by other lions due to the grim hierarchy of feline royalty. Now onto sports. Many of you football fanatics out there might know the Deflategate scandal in January, in which the New England Patriots were accused of deflating the balls for the championship game against the Indianapolis Colts. The National Football League has upheld a 4-game suspension of New England's Patriot star quarterback Tom Brady for his role in the football tampering scandal. the league announced in a news release Tuesday. Commissioner Roger Goodell, who confirmed the suspension he handed down in May, said new information about the destruction of Brady's cell phone showed the four-time Super Bowl champion sought to hide evidence of his own participation in the underlying scheme to alter the footballs. The phone apparently had over 10,000 text messages, with half of it revolving around the topic of deflating the balls. But according to Don Nee, Brady's agent, Brady did nothing wrong. Now for some science, NASA announced Thursday that its Kepler spacecraft has spotted Earth's bigger, older cousin, the first nearly Earth-sized planet to be found in the habitable zone of a star similar to our own. Sadly, NASA is not able to find out if the planet has water and or air, but is the closest match to Earth. The planet, named Kepler 452b, is about 1,400 light years from Earth and is in the constellation Cygnus. It is about 60% bigger than Earth, NASA says, and is located in a star habitable zone, which is the reason where life-sustaining liquid water is possible on the surface of the planet. A visitor there would experience gravity about twice that of Earth, and planetary scientists say that the odds of having a rocky surface are better than even. While it's a bit further from its star than Earth is from the sun, its star is also brighter, so the planet gets about the same amount of energy from its star as Earth is from the sun, and that sunlight would be very similar to Earth's. This means if a zombie apocalypse were to ever happen, there is a chance we are able to inhabit a new planet until the next one inevitably comes. And while we are still on the topic of space and NASA, the NASA rover Curiosity apparently found building blocks of life on Mars. It could be the past or present life we could be completely wrong, and we have been wasting millions of dollars over the past years. Either way, the samples of organic matter in the atmosphere and rock show that Mars may have at least once had conditions favorable to hosting life. They also show that the planet is still chemically active. The rover has run into pockets of gas, which has been described as methane, often used to fire up gas that was back on Earth. These building blocks of life could have formed on Mars, or meteorites could have brought them here. Scientists aren't sure yet, and as much as I would love for aliens to exist, we can't get our hopes up too high. That's it for the top 10 news of this week. Thanks for staying tuned, and we apologize for the random 3-week break due to getting used to some changes. Make sure to like us on Facebook and YouTube, and remember, stay educated.